Commander Lyra Talon sat in the bridge of the flagship Orion's Pride, staring at the holographic map of the Orion Empire's outer systems. The stars sparkled like diamonds against the dark expanse, each a distant sun with its own worlds and secrets. The Empire was vast, powerful, and orderly. For centuries, humans had expanded into these stars, building colonies, research stations, and fleets that could protect the Empire from almost any threat. Lyra had always taken pride in the fleet. She had trained for this moment her entire life. Every maneuver, every calculation, every command drilled into her mind, until reaction was instinct. Yet, as she watched the endless black stretch beyond their sensors, a quiet unease crept over her. The Empire had grown used to peace. The borders were calm. Patrols were routine. Nothing had happened here in decades. And in those quiet decades, the humans of Orion had grown confident. Too confident. "Commander," said Lieutenant Aaron, Voss, her communications officer, voice breaking the silence. "The routine patrol is finished. All ships report systems normal. No disturbances detected in the outer sector." "Good," Lyra said, forcing calm into her voice. She smiled at the crew around her. "Let's keep it that way. Nothing exciting. Ever happens in calm sectors." She chuckled softly, but the joke landed flat. Everyone was alert. Years of service in the fleet made soldiers cautious. The bridge hummed with the soft energy of the ship's systems. Holograms flickered with data, and monitors displayed the positions of their patrolling ships. Hundreds of vessels stretched across the sector, maintaining order, watching the border, ensuring that nothing unexpected could happen. And yet, the universe was unpredictable. Suddenly, the silence broke. The sensors, always reliable, started flashing. Red alerts streaked across the bridge. Lyra's eyes narrowed. "What is it?" she demanded. Lieutenant Voss tapped the console rapidly. "Sensors are picking up an object, Commander. Not just any object. It's moving fast, extremely fast. And it doesn't match any ship class in our database." The words hung in the air. Lyra felt a chill creep over her. Not matching any ship class? That was impossible. The Empire cataloged every vessel that humans had ever built or encountered. Every prototype, every commercial ship, every research vessel, every last one. "Repeat," she said, her voice steady but tense. "It's true," Voss replied. "No registry, no design file, nothing. It's approaching at an impossible speed." The crew went silent. Even the hum of the ship seemed to pause as they watched the unknown object grow on the sensors. It wasn't huge, a single vessel smaller than their cruisers, but its shape was unusual, sleek, almost organic, like it had grown rather than been built. The surface shimmered with strange energy patterns, unlike anything the Empire had seen. Commander Lyra took a deep breath. "This is not routine. Alert the fleet." "Commander, I'm already doing it," Voss said. "All ships in sector, raise shields and prepare for interception." Within minutes, the patrol fleet reorganized around the unknown vessel. Hundreds of ships spread in formation, energy shields glowing, weapons systems ready. The calm of the sector had vanished. For the first time in decades, the Empire felt the edge of fear. Lyra watched the vessel on the main holomap. It moved with speed and precision that seemed unnatural. It didn't curve with gravity, didn't slow for asteroids, didn't scatter when debris crossed its path. It moved like a predator, elegant and confident. "Commander," said Voss, pointing at the tactical display. "The fleet is in position. What are your orders?" Lyra's mind raced. Engaging blindly could be disastrous. The Empire's ships were strong, but this unknown vessel, its speed, its design, could overwhelm them. And yet, she couldn't allow it to pass unchallenged. The Empire demanded vigilance. "Hold position," she said finally. "Let it approach. I want visual confirmation before we act. No sudden attacks. We don't know what we're dealing with." Voss hesitated. "Understood, Commander, but if it continues at this speed, it won't matter," Lyra interrupted. "We'll be ready." Moments stretched. The crew held their breath as the vessel drew closer. On the main screen, its surface gleamed with shifting lights. Then, it paused. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. And then it changed direction instantly, cutting across the fleet with lightning speed. Shields flared. Red alarms blared. Some ships were caught in the pulse. Systems overloaded, engines sparking. The fleet staggered under the sudden strike, but emergency protocols prevented loss of life. Crew members scrambled, keeping their ships stable, repairing damage. Lyra felt her stomach tighten. The unknown ship had disabled multiple vessels without destroying them. Every pulse, every movement was precise. Nothing was random. It wasn't chaos. It was strategy. "Commander," Voss said, voice trembling. It's too fast. We can't keep up. And the pulses, they're targeting systems, not people. It's not attacking us like an enemy. It's testing us." Lyra's mind raced. "Testing us?" "Yes," Voss said. "It's analyzing our fleet, our patterns. Every move we make, it's learning." The idea was terrifying. The Empire was unmatched in technology and organization, and here was a single ship moving faster, smarter, and reacting with precision that no human mind could match, unless it was human. "Visual confirmation," Lyra whispered, leaning closer to the main display. She watched the unknown ship as it hovered, almost observing. And then the message appeared on their comm. "Humans. Prepare to learn." The bridge went silent. Even the experienced officers froze. Lyra felt her heart hammer. This was not a greeting from aliens. It was a challenge from a human mind, or something that understood humans in ways no one else could. "Commander," said Voss, "what do we do?" Lyra straightened, meeting the eyes of her officers. "We learn," she said, firmly. "We observe, we adapt. This ship may be faster, smarter, stronger, but humans can always find a way." The crew exchanged glances. In that moment, fear turned into determination. The unknown vessel had shaken them, but it had also ignited something else. The spark of challenge, the call to ingenuity. Lyra issued her next orders. "Deploy reconnaissance drones, track the ship. Document every movement, every pulse, every signal. We don't attack first, we study, we survive, and we show that the Orion Empire does not panic." Voss nodded. "Aye, Commander. Drones away. The GAM." Drones shot forward like silver arrows weaving around the unknown ship. The vessel reacted instantly, evading each one with uncanny precision. The crew watched, analyzing patterns, recording data. Every movement revealed something new, something human ingenuity had yet to achieve. But humans could adapt. Hours passed. The unknown ship moved with silent grace, never striking lethally, always observing, always learning. The fleet regrouped, repaired, and tested new strategies. Slowly, Lyra began to notice patterns, weaknesses, hints in the ship's movements. The calm that had defined the Empire for decades was gone, replaced by tension, curiosity, and a growing excitement. For the first time in centuries, humans were not just patrolling space. They were being tested, challenged, pushed to become more than they thought possible. The unknown ship glided through space with silent precision. It moved like a shadow, unbound by the rules that governed the Orion Empire's fleets. On the bridge of the Orion's Pride, Commander Lyra Talon studied the ship's movements carefully. Every pulse, every flicker of energy, every sudden acceleration was data, information to be analyzed, understood, and eventually used to their advantage. Lieutenant Aaron Voss adjusted the sensors for a closer reading. "Commander, the ship is accelerating again. Its vector is impossible. No ship in our records can achieve that." Lyra nodded, keeping her gaze on the holomap. "Impossible is relative. We're not dealing with an enemy in the usual sense. It's testing us. That's the only explanation that makes sense." The rest of the bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances. Testing humans in this way was unprecedented. No alien species, no rogue AI, nothing had ever engaged with the Orion Empire like this. It wasn't aggressive, but it wasn't friendly either. It existed in a space between curiosity and calculation. Voss's hands flew over the controls. Commander, multiple ships are reporting system disruptions. Engines are faltering, shields are fluctuating. But no casualties. No loss of life. Exactly, Lyra said. It doesn't kill, it disables. It's observing our reactions. That's the most dangerous kind of opponent, one that can think faster than we can. Captain Hain, the engineering officer, leaned forward from his station. Commander, I've reviewed the energy pulses. They're precise. Targeting propulsion, navigation, weapon systems, never the crew. Whoever designed this understands the value of human life, or is calculating it as a variable. Lyra's lips pressed together. The thought was both terrifying and fascinating. Keep monitoring. I want every system logged, every pulse analyzed. We are not just observing, we are learning, and we will respond. The fleet surged forward, keeping distance from the unknown ship. They tried formation adjustments, flanking maneuvers, and defensive patterns. Each time, the unknown vessel anticipated their moves. It avoided obstacles, dodged interference, and countered each tactic with elegance. Then, unexpectedly, it stopped. In the middle of the sector, surrounded by dozens of Orion ships, it simply hovered as though waiting. Lyra leaned closer to the main display. It's giving us space. Watch the energy readings closely. There's a message here. We just have to understand it. And then, the ship sent a transmission. The words appeared on the Orion's Pride comm screen, glowing with an almost alien font. Humans. Prepare to learn. A murmur ran through the bridge. Voss swallowed hard. It's speaking to us. Not through words, but intention. Commander, this is unprecedented. Lyra's eyes narrowed. It's human, she whispered. It has to be. Only a human mind could anticipate our patterns this well. Only a human could communicate like this without speaking. Captain, Hain frowned. But Commander, if it's human, why isn't it registered? Why is it outside the Empire's control? Exactly the point, Lyra said. And that's what we need to find out. Send a visual scan. I want every detail of this vessel, every surface reading, every energy signature. We need to know what we're dealing with. The scanners hummed, sending streams of data to the analysts. The unknown ship's hull shimmered as though alive. Energy flows moved beneath the surface, pulsing with rhythm and intelligence. Its design defied logic, blending curves and sharp edges in ways that seemed almost impossible. It was beautiful, terrifying, and utterly alien, yet strangely human. Lieutenant Voss frowned at the readings. Commander, the ship is responding to our scans. It's adjusting its shields, its energy output. It's learning from us in real time. That's exactly why we need to remain calm, Lyra said. Fear will make us sloppy. We can't make mistakes now. The unknown vessel suddenly accelerated, darting between Orion ships with astonishing speed. Pulses of energy shot out, striking systems with pinpoint accuracy. Engines overloaded, shields flickered, weapons went offline. The fleet staggered, but no lives were lost. Emergency protocols kicked in, stabilizing the affected ships. Lyra's heart pounded. She realized the scale of what they were facing. This ship isn't a weapon in the traditional sense. It's a mirror. It reflects our abilities, our mistakes. It tests us, forces us to grow. Voss leaned closer. Worry etched across his face. Commander, how do we respond? We can't match its speed. We can't outgun it. What choice do we have? Lyra's eyes narrowed with determination. We adapt. That's the choice humans always have. Observe, analyze, and innovate. That's what separates us from any other species in this galaxy. We will learn, and we will overcome. Hours passed. The fleet adjusted their formations, tested new maneuvers, and tried unconventional tactics. Every move was countered, every strategy anticipated. Yet with each encounter, they learned something new. Patterns emerged in the unknown ship's behavior. Hints of logic, glimpses of predictability. Finally, After a long cycle of testing, The vessel slowed and stopped near a dense asteroid field. Lyra's heart leapt. It was giving them a chance, a deliberate pause, a moment to understand. She turned to Voss. Prepare a small squadron, fast ships, minimal crew. We're going to follow it into that asteroid field. We need closer observation. We need answers. Voss nodded, tension and excitement mixing in his expression. Aye, Commander. Squadron ready in 5. The squadron launched, weaving through the asteroids with skill and caution. The unknown ship moved effortlessly, dodging massive rocks and debris with impossible grace, yet it never threatened them. It seemed curious, waiting. Observing their movements as much as they observed it. Inside the asteroid field, Lyra felt a strange sense of wonder. The ship, the unknown challenge, the calm intelligence of the universe, it all pressed upon her like a weight of possibility. Humans had always adapted to the impossible, turned fear into strategy and challenge into opportunity. And this ship, whatever it was, had become the ultimate test. The unknown vessel finally stopped near a massive asteroid, its energy pulses glowing softly against the rock. Lyra's squadron approached cautiously. She could feel the tension in the communications channel, every pilot alert, every system on high readiness. Commander, Voss said, voice barely above a whisper. The readings, they're stable. No threats detected. It's almost like it wants us to approach. Lyra exhaled slowly. Then we approach. Carefully. We make first contact, but we do it on our terms. We are humans. We do not panic. We adapt, we learn, and we respond. That is what makes us exceptional. The squadron edged closer, hearts racing, eyes fixed on the shimmering vessel. It floated silently, its strange hull reflecting the light of distant stars. Then, as if acknowledging their courage, it pulsed, a soft rhythmic glow, almost like a heartbeat. Lyra's fingers hovered over the console. This is it, she said. This is the moment we show what humans are capable of. Voss looked at her, awe in his eyes. Yes, Commander, we're ready. And in the darkness of the asteroid field, the unknown ship waited. It had challenged the Orion Empire, tested their skills, and now it would reveal the first of many truths. Lyra Talon smiled, a fierce, determined smile. Humanity had been tested before, and humanity had always risen to the occasion. The calm of the Empire was gone, replaced by anticipation, curiosity, and the fire of ingenuity. Commander Lyra Talon sat in the bridge of the Orion's Pride, her eyes fixed on the holomap as the unknown ship disappeared into the vastness of the asteroid belt. The soft hum of the engines was a constant reminder that the Empire was still alive, still capable of movement. But the tension on the bridge was almost tangible. Every officer knew that what they were facing was not just a challenge, it was a test. Commander, Lieutenant Voss said, leaning over his console, the ship is moving again. Its vector is erratic, unpredictable but calculated. It's heading toward the Vesper Nebula. Lyra's lips pressed together. The Vesper Nebula was a dense cloud of gas and debris, notorious for its dangerous gravitational currents. Only the most skilled pilots could navigate it without damage. Prepare a small squadron, she ordered. Fast ships, minimal crews. We follow but maintain safe distance. We cannot afford to lose anyone. Not yet. Yes, Commander, Voss replied, fingers dancing over the controls. Within minutes, 5 fast, sleek Orion ships launched from the fleet. Each pilot was carefully chosen for skill, intuition, and calm under pressure. Lyra watched them move with pride. Humans were at their best in moments like this, when survival demanded ingenuity, speed, and courage. The unknown ship moved with unnatural ease through the asteroid field. Its speed was impossible to predict, yet the squadron followed, relying on instincts, calculations, and quick thinking. It dodged massive asteroids, twisted around gravitational eddies, and slipped through debris that would have destroyed any ordinary ship. Lieutenant Voss's voice broke the silence. Commander, its movements, They're not random, it's avoiding danger, but at the same time it's drawing us into more complex maneuvers. It's teaching us how to navigate, how to react. Lyra nodded. Exactly. Every challenge it presents is a lesson. We are not here to destroy. We are here to learn. Pay attention, every detail matters. Hours passed, the chase weaving through the dangerous terrain of the nebula. The unknown ship tested them at every turn. Lyra's squadron adjusted constantly, sometimes failing, sometimes succeeding, always learning. And with each pulse of energy that passed near their systems, they gained knowledge. Captain Hayne, sitting in engineering, frowned at the energy readings. Commander, the ship's energy signature is unlike anything I've ever seen. It draws from multiple sources, combines them, and adapts. Every maneuver it takes uses less energy than our calculations predict. It's efficient beyond reason. Lyra's eyes glimmered with determination. It's human ingenuity pushed to the extreme. Someone, somewhere, built this vessel to challenge everything we know, and it's working. Suddenly, the unknown ship stopped at the edge of a massive gravitational anomaly, a swirling vortex of light and energy at the center of the nebula. Lyra's squadron came to a careful halt, keeping distance. The unknown vessel hovered at the center, almost like it was waiting. Voss spoke hesitantly. Commander, it's inviting us in, or expecting us to respond. Lyra studied the anomaly. It was dangerous. A single miscalculation could tear a ship apart. Yet, the unknown vessel moved confidently within it. She felt a thrill of both, fear and excitement. We follow, she said firmly. Carefully. Every movement counts. Remember what we've learned. Precision, focus, and courage. That is what makes humans strong. The squadron navigated the gravitational currents, dodging energy arcs and shifting debris. Every ship used its engines to their maximum capacity, yet none overexerted. The unknown ship moved with almost playful ease, waiting for them to adjust. Testing their limits. Lyra felt her heart racing. This was more than a chase. It was a lesson in strategy, observation, and resilience. She realized that the unknown ship wasn't just testing the fleet's technology, it was testing their minds, their ability to think, to adapt, to survive. Hours turned into cycles as the squadron pressed forward. Every mistake was a lesson, every success a revelation. And slowly, patterns emerged in the unknown ship's movement. It responded not just to the squadron's actions, but to their intentions. It anticipated, predicted, and challenged their decision-making. Finally, Lyra saw a chance. The unknown ship made a sudden turn, diving close to a massive asteroid. Voss reacted immediately, plotting a similar trajectory. Lyra's squadron followed, navigating the dangerous path with precision. They realized that if they could predict the ship's next move, they could begin to understand its logic. Commander, Voss said, excitement in his voice. I think we're starting to see a pattern. It reacts to aggressive moves, differently than defensive ones. It anticipates, but it also tests patience. Lyra nodded. Yes, and patience is our advantage. The ship moves fast, but it cannot predict everything. We stay calm, observe, and respond. That is human strength. The unknown ship paused at the far side of the nebula, energy pulses glowing softly. It seemed to communicate without words, guiding the squadron through the final obstacles. Lyra realized the truth. This was a partnership in a sense. The ship was challenging them, yes, but it was also offering an opportunity to learn. Voss's fingers flew over his console. Commander, the readings. It's human, or at least designed by humans. The energy patterns, the movement logic, it's consistent with the advanced experimental prototypes that were developed centuries ago but never deployed. Someone, or some group, has been perfecting this in secret. Lyra's eyes widened. That explains why it isn't logged. This ship isn't a threat in the traditional sense. It's a product of human ingenuity. Someone testing limits without the Empire knowing. That means it's not hostile. It's challenging us, yes, but it's not trying to destroy. That changes everything. The squadron moved closer cautiously, still aware of the risks. Lyra's heart swelled with pride. Humanity had always faced impossible challenges and risen above them. This ship was proof that humans could push boundaries, invent, and adapt beyond expectation. As the unknown vessel hovered near the heart of the nebula, it pulsed softly again, almost like a heartbeat. Lyra realized that it was communicating in a subtle, unspoken way. Each pulse conveyed intention, curiosity, and intelligence. "We're not chasing it to destroy it," Lyra said firmly. "We're chasing it to understand, to learn, to adapt. That is what humans do best. We survive, we evolve, and we rise to challenges. That is our greatest strength." Voss nodded, awe in his eyes. "Yes, Commander. I understand. We're not just fleet chasing a ship. We're engaging with human potential itself." The squadron moved carefully, matching the unknown ship's movements with precision and focus. Each pilot felt the thrill of discovery, the challenge of navigating the nebula, and the excitement of being part of something far greater than themselves. Suddenly, the unknown ship accelerated, moving through the nebula with incredible speed. Voss warned, "Commander, it's moving too fast. If we follow blindly, we'll lose control." Lyra smiled. "Then we predict, we plan, and we execute. We do not panic. Humans never panic." Using the patterns they had learned, the squadron anticipated the ship's trajectory. With skill, patience, and ingenuity, they kept pace, navigating the dangerous currents with expertise. The unknown ship pulsed again, acknowledging their success. Lyra felt a surge of pride. This chase was not just about technology or tactics. It was about human determination, intellect, and courage. Humanity had faced the impossible before, and they would do it again. As the squadron followed the unknown vessel toward the edge of the nebula, Lyra knew that this chase was only the beginning. Somewhere ahead lay answers, challenges, and discoveries that could change the Orion Empire forever. Commander Lyra Talon and her small squadron hovered at the edge of a glowing sector in deep space, the unknown vessel pulsating like a heartbeat in the darkness. After hours of careful observation, chase, and analysis, the puzzle that had consumed her mind for days was starting to take shape. "Commander," Lieutenant Voss said, studying the latest sensor readings, "I've been reviewing the ship's energy patterns. It's unlike anything in the Empire's records, but there are hints, codes, design structures. These belong to humans. Advanced humans, yes, but humans nonetheless. Someone built this. Someone designed it to think, to adapt, to challenge us." Lyra's mind raced. That meant what she had suspected all along. This vessel wasn't alien. It wasn't an invader. It was human. But why? And why now? "Prepare the boarding drones," she ordered. "We need closer data. I want to understand everything about this ship, every system, every mechanism, every pulse of energy. We're not here to fight. We're here to learn." "Yes, Commander," Voss replied. His hands moved swiftly, deploying drones that would approach the ship with care, recording every detail without triggering any defensive measures. The drones glided silently through the vacuum, weaving around the unknown vessel. The shimmering hull reflected light in dazzling patterns, almost like it was alive. Every movement, every pulse seemed to respond to the drone's approach. It wasn't aggressive, but it was aware, intelligent. Curious, Lyra studied the data as it streamed in. "Look at this," she said, pointing at the holographic display. "The ship's propulsion isn't conventional. No fuel, no chemical reactions. It manipulates energy fields directly, bending space to move at speeds we can barely calculate. This is centuries beyond what the Empire currently has." Captain Hain, who had been reviewing engineering readings from the Orion's Pride, spoke up. "Commander, there's more. It's systems. They mimic neural networks almost like a brain. Every calculation, every response is adaptive, not pre-programmed. Whoever built this vessel created a machine that thinks like a human, but faster, smarter, and more precise." Lyra nodded, her mind filled with awe. "That explains why it challenged our fleet. It doesn't attack. It doesn't destroy. It tests. It teaches. And it's human. Someone wanted to push the boundaries of human potential without the Empire knowing. Lieutenant Voss frowned. Commander, if this is human, why is it unregistered? Why is no one in the Empire aware of its existence? Because it was secret, Lyra said softly. Centuries ago, some scientists, engineers, and thinkers created prototypes of extreme human potential. They wanted to see how far humans could go if given complete freedom to innovate. This ship is the culmination of that work, a test of human ingenuity, intellect, and resilience. Voss's eyes widened. You mean, it's been hidden all this time, waiting for humans to reach this point? Yes, Lyra said, and now it has appeared to remind the Empire, that we cannot rely solely on bureaucracy, power, or numbers. Humans must think, adapt, and innovate, otherwise we stagnate. The squadron watched as the ship pulsed again, almost like a heartbeat. And then, a soft, almost melodic signal transmitted to the Orion vessels. It wasn't words, not in any language. They were patterns of energy, sequences of pulses, instructions in rhythm and logic. Lyra studied them carefully. This is a teaching method, she whispered. It's giving us problems to solve, complex strategic problems that require thought, ingenuity, and cooperation. We're not just being observed, we're being trained. Captain Haynes smiled. It's brilliant. Whoever built this knew humans would need guidance to reach their full potential. Not through force, not through conquest, but through challenge. Through testing. Lyra nodded, a sense of excitement growing within her. Then that is what we will do. We will solve its problems, follow its patterns, and prove that humans are capable of rising to challenges beyond the Empire's current understanding. The unknown ship pulsed again, a wave of energy flowing across the fleet's sensors. The pulses seemed almost like a conversation, a language of thought expressed through light and energy. Lyra instructed her officers to analyze every sequence, every fluctuation. Hours passed as the squadron worked in tandem, using their intelligence, intuition, and observation to understand the ship's patterns. Each success was a thrill. Each failure was a lesson. The crew began to see the purpose of the unknown vessel. It was not just testing them, it was teaching them, pushing them to see beyond the obvious, to think creatively, to innovate solutions. Voss spoke up, awe in his voice. Commander, I think I understand. The ship isn't a threat. It's an ally in disguise, a teacher. Someone built this to ensure that the next generation of humans could reach their full potential, even if the Empire itself became complacent. Lyra smiled. Exactly. And now it has chosen us to carry forward that legacy. We have been challenged, tested, and now we have a chance to prove ourselves, not as soldiers, not as bureaucrats, but as humans capable of greatness. The unknown vessel pulsed one final time, a signal that seemed almost like approval. Lyra could feel it, a subtle confirmation that their efforts were recognized. The ship's design, its movements, its energy. Everything was a reflection of human ingenuity pushed to the limit. And now, it had chosen to reveal itself as a guide, a teacher, a reminder of what humanity could achieve. Lyra took a deep breath. Prepare a communication link, she said. We will respond. We will show it that humans are ready to learn, to adapt, and to advance. Voss hesitated. Commander, are we sure? We've never spoken to it directly. How do we even begin? We begin with honesty, Lyra said. We tell it who we are, what we are capable of, and that we are ready to learn. Humans never shy away from challenge. We embrace it. That is what makes us extraordinary. The communication channel activated, sending a soft pulse toward the unknown ship. Its response was immediate, a flowing series of energy signals, patterns that formed into a recognizable structure. Information, diagrams, strategic puzzles. It was teaching them how to think beyond conventional limits, to solve problems not with brute force but with creativity, logic, and cooperation. The squadron worked tirelessly, following the vessel's instructions, solving puzzles, navigating complex energy fields, and overcoming challenges designed to test their intellect, intuition, and teamwork. Every success brought exhilaration. Every failure brought insight. Hours turned into cycles. And finally, Lyra realized the truth. This ship was more than a vessel. It was a mentor, a guide, and a testament to human potential. Whoever had created it had understood one thing clearly. Humans could achieve greatness if they were challenged, inspired, and given freedom to think. Lyra turned to her squadron. This is what it means to be human, to face the impossible, to learn from it, and to rise above it. We are not limited by bureaucracy, by fleet size, or by technology. We are limited only by imagination and determination. And that is limitless. Captain, Hayne nodded, smiling. Then we embrace the challenge, Commander. Humanity will rise to it. The unknown vessel pulsed once more, and for a brief moment, its hull shimmered with a rainbow of energy. It was as if it acknowledged their understanding, their growth, and their readiness. Lyra felt a surge of pride. The Empire had faced many threats, many challenges, but none had tested the very essence of human ingenuity and spirit like this. And now humanity was ready to meet the future, stronger, wiser, and more united than ever. As the squadron prepared to leave the nebula, Lyra looked back at the unknown ship. It was not a threat. It was a teacher, a guide, a reminder that humans were capable of far more than they realized. And in that moment, she knew that the Empire, the fleet, and all of humanity had been changed forever. Somewhere out there, in the endless black of space, a vessel built by human hands but beyond any record or registry, waited for the next lesson, the next challenge, the next human ready to rise. The unknown vessel had led the squadron out of the Vesper Nebula and into open space. The stars stretched endlessly in every direction, sparkling like a sea of diamonds. Commander Lyra Talon leaned forward on the bridge of the Orion's Pride, her eyes fixed on the ship that had changed everything. It moved with the same elegant precision, pulsing with energy, a silent teacher waiting for the next step. Commander, Lieutenant Voss said, voice tinged with awe. The fleet has absorbed all the data from the vessel, patterns, energy flows, propulsion techniques, everything. We have knowledge that the Empire has never had before. Lyra nodded. Yes. But knowledge alone is not enough. We must apply it, innovate, and improve. That is what the ship has been teaching us. That is what it means to be human. The fleet, which had once panicked at the sight of the unknown ship, now moved with confidence. The lessons from the chase and the puzzles had sharpened their instincts, heightened their awareness, and revealed their own potential. They were no longer simply soldiers. They were thinkers, innovators, and problem-solvers. Captain Haynes smiled, his eyes reflecting the starlight. Commander, with these techniques, our ships could move faster, react quicker, and handle threats more efficiently than ever before. The Empire could become stronger without increasing fleet size just by thinking smarter. Lyra's lips curved into a small smile. Exactly. Strength is not always about numbers or weapons. True strength is intelligence, adaptability, and courage. That is what this ship has shown us. As the squadron followed the unknown vessel, Lyra realized that their encounter had done more than test the fleet. It had transformed it. The officers worked together seamlessly, sharing insights, comparing notes, and predicting the ship's next moves. The lessons went beyond engineering or tactics. They touched the very essence of human ingenuity. Voss leaned over his console, excitement in his voice. Commander, the energy patterns from the ship could be replicated. If we integrate them into our systems, the Empire could achieve speeds and maneuverability previously thought impossible. Humanity could redefine space travel. Lyra's eyes sparkled. Then we take that knowledge back. We innovate, we build, and we advance. The Empire must grow not just in size, but in creativity, intelligence, and courage. That is the future this ship has shown us. The unknown vessel pulsed again, almost as if acknowledging her words. For a moment, it hovered silently, then began to move away, gliding effortlessly into the darkness of space. Lyra felt a strange mix of pride and sadness. The ship had been their teacher, their challenge, and now it was leaving. "Commander," Voss said softly, "do you think it will return?" "I don't know," Lyra admitted. "Perhaps. Perhaps not. But it has left a mark that cannot be erased. Humanity has been reminded of its potential. That is enough for now." The squadron followed the ship's trajectory back toward the Orion Empire's controlled space. Along the way, they tested what they had learned. New formations, improved maneuvers, and adaptive energy techniques flowed seamlessly through the fleet. The lessons of the unknown vessel were no longer abstract, they were tangible, practical, and powerful. When the squadron returned to the heart of the Empire, word of the encounter spread quickly. The higher command called an emergency council. Lyra Talon presented their findings, demonstrating the ship's movements, energy flows, and the solutions they had derived from its challenges. The council members, initially skeptical, watched in amazement as simulations showed the fleet's enhanced abilities. Maneuvers that would have been impossible just hours before now flowed effortlessly. Energy efficiency doubled, reaction times improved, and coordination between ships reached a new level of excellence. One elder statesman whispered, "It is beyond anything we imagined. We have been complacent for too long. This is not just technology, this is evolution." Lyra nodded. Exactly. The unknown vessel was not a threat. It was a teacher, and it has shown us that humanity's true strength lies not in fleet size or firepower, but in our minds, our courage, and our ability to adapt. That is what will define the Empire's future. Captain Hayne added, "We must integrate these lessons immediately. Train all crews, improve every ship, and prepare for exploration. Humanity has been given a glimpse of what is possible. We cannot waste it." The council agreed. Plans were set in motion to integrate the knowledge, re-educate fleet officers, and redesign ships using the new techniques. The Empire was changing, not through conquest but through ingenuity. Weeks later, the first trial fleet, equipped with the new knowledge, launched into previously unexplored space. Commander Lyra Talon watched from the bridge, a sense of pride swelling within her. Each ship moved with precision, coordination, and intelligence that mirrored the unknown vessel's teachings. The legacy of human ingenuity had been realized. Lieutenant Voss turned to her, a smile lighting his face. "Commander, it feels different, stronger, smarter, alive." Lyra nodded. "It does. This is what humans are capable of when we rise to challenges instead of fearing them. We have learned, adapted, and grown. Humanity is ready for the stars." Far beyond the fleet, the unknown vessel moved silently through space. It had no need for recognition or reward. Its mission was complete. It had tested, taught, and guided. Now it drifted into the unknown, waiting for the next generation of humans ready to rise to the challenge. Back on the Orion flagship, Lyra Talon addressed her crew. "Today, we have proven that humans are more than our ships, more than our weapons, more than the Empire's rules. Our strength is our courage, our creativity, and our determination. We have faced the impossible, and we have triumphed, not through force, but through ingenuity. That is what makes us human. That is what makes us worthy of the stars." The crew erupted in cheers, their voices echoing across the bridge. For the first time in decades, the Orion Empire felt alive, inspired, and ready. The panic had passed. The fear had been replaced with excitement. Humanity had been reminded of its potential. And somewhere in the endless darkness of space, the unknown vessel pulsed one final time, a heartbeat of approval, a silent acknowledgement that humans had passed the test. The Empire would never be the same. Lyra Talon watched the stars stretch out before them. Humanity had been challenged and humanity had risen. The unknown ship had reminded them of something they had always known, but sometimes forgotten, that no matter the danger, no matter the challenge, humans had the power to adapt, to learn, And to triumph. The Orion Empire had survived countless threats, but now it had gained something far greater, a reminder of the boundless potential within every human mind and every human heart. As the fleet moved forward into the new frontier, Lyra whispered to herself, a proud smile on her face. We are human, and we are ready for anything the universe can throw at us. The stars ahead shimmered like a promise. The unknown vessel had disappeared, but its lesson remained. Humanity was stronger, smarter, and braver than ever before. The galaxy had not seen the last of them. And with that, the Orion Empire began a new era, an era of exploration, discovery, and triumph.